They don't think you could do it, but tell you to try when they talk. All I hope had to keep it alive, spend a day in the Bronx, but you wouldn't survive. Can be low when I pop out, they know I've arrived. I go have conversations with Zoe, he gon' tell me pull up and come say what you know. I've been up, I can count all them days in a row. We don't say what we do, we be making the show. They say I'll be
the voice of the Bronx. We have Bronx Lane with the guys that are out here. Can I get a
yeah. Leave them all right where they at. Try to diss me, I bet I don't even react. Put a show on, I bet you somebody gon' I pick me a book up and drink me some water, invest in the stock. All them kids don't be bad.
All right, peace and love, world. Welcome to another episode of Conversation with Zoe. We got Orlando, Florida in the building. We got my guy, Blue Nose Brandon.
What's up, my brother?
Welcome, my guy. So good to see you, bro.
Pleasure, man.
Appreciate you reaching out. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It means a lot. You know, he's a public figure, real estate made, 300 plus. Tell us what that was, 300 plus?
300 plus transactions, man.
300 plus
so
transactions.
I done done, year to date, since I started in 2017, I would say somewhere around 300 transactions. So I just say 300 plus.
Right.
And those are HUDs, right? And we'll get into that. So yeah, man, just been blessed and anointed to be able to do that.
Right. Serial risk taker.
Yeah. I feel like that's a great word, man, for a lot of us. When I say a lot of us, I'm talking about black and brown people.
Yes, sir.
Because every single day waking up as a minority, you have to be a serial risk taker. It's just one of those things that nowadays, like, just based upon just how you look, right? I mean, you can go to jail. We were just talking about it right now when it come down to Trayvon Martin or Khalif Browder or, whatever the case may be. You have to be a serial risk taker. And just even from the perspective of life, right? I mean, just being inside a train, a train can derail and crash, or you could be in a car, you could be in a plane.
Right.
So I think being a serial risk taker is what allowed me to literally, have that high velocity of success.
Right. Sponsored by God.
For sure. So the sponsored by God thing came in is because I don't believe in luck.
Right.
I just believe that is what was meant for you is what's meant for you.
Yes, sir.
And the book is it's already written, right? And you just gotta, let life flow. Now, I do feel like you have to put some action behind that prayer.
Yes, sir.
I think sometimes that we take that a little bit too far. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely a Catholic, proud, proud Christian, but I think that you have to be able to make sure that you put some action behind it. You can't just be always, asking and asking. This is a two-way relationship. So Sponsored by God came up when literally, started talking to my mom a little bit about, how I came to be in this world.
Right.
And, met my father at the age of like 13-ish. Shared a bedroom with my grandma to the age of 16. And, when I was younger, my mom had me at a young age.
Right.
And, she ended up kind of telling me that, listen, to be honest, I didn't know, what to do. I didn't really know if I wanted a child. And, I tried 3 times, but I couldn't take, come through with the pill. I couldn't get an abortion.
Right.
So after I found that out, when I was like probably 25, 26, it was more so like, man, listen, I am meant to be here no matter what happens.
Right.
I was sponsored by God.
That's a fact.
And then when I meet people like you and everybody in the world, it's like we all sponsored by God. Whatever it is that we have was sponsored by God, Right. So that's just what I believe in. I don't believe in luck.
Right. What made you pick Conversation with Zoe?
Man, I'll be honest with you. Like, I think I just saw it on my timeline, and then I think that you have to be able to have a positive, but also it has to be with context. Like, it has to have some substance behind it.
Right.
So, I was just looking at, what you had going on. I was like, yeah, I want to tap in with bro. So that's really what it was.
I appreciate that, man. So we're going to break down CEO.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So the C, concentrate on goals.
Okay.
The E, execute on strategies.
Okay.
And the O, optimize systems.
Okay.
I saw that on your Twitter.
So you have to understand, right? So when you concentrating, so which one you want me to start off? It don't matter?
Start off from the C, concentrate on goals.
Okay. So I believe that a lot of the times we have busy work. We don't have what we call income producing activities, right? And when you're working at 9 to 5, you really don't know what you want in life. A lot of people go to college and they're going to college to get a degree based on what they saw somebody else. Right. Somebody suggested, you should probably get this type of degree, or you should go for this, or you should go for that. Right. It's always they've been swayed in a way of what society deems to be like, yo, this is what you should do, right? And I think when you concentrate on an actual specific target and you stay focused, you are a person that can't be played with.
Right.
Like if you really go ahead and tap in with a goal and really try to get at that goal, most of the time you end up doing it. See, a lot of times they say, you know, a jack of all trades, but a master at none, right? And what I've noticed is I like to do what's called sprint, it's called like sprint focuses, right? Where I'm in, you know, my office at the crib and I write down the night before a couple of things that I got to get done. And for example, I'll go into the office and I'm not leaving for 90 minutes until I get those tasks done. Phone is on D&D, door is locked. There's nothing, right? Because what ends up happening is like you may, you know what I'm saying, get up, you want to take a shit. Then after that, it's like, you know, I need something to eat. Then after that, you want to hit the gym. By the time you know it, you done skipped out 4 or 5 hours of the day and you haven't done shit, right? So a lot of the times when you concentrate on a goal, you have to really, really tap in. Not only that, we end up doing what's called New Year's resolutions, but a lot of us start in the middle of the year.
Right.
So now you're putting yourself in a position to fail. Right? With only 6 months left in a year. So I think when you concentrate on your goals, your actual goals, and you work on them like the 1% every single day, you're putting yourself in a position to actually attain that goal. A lot of the times we're not really working on something daily. You know, we're working on something here, there, you know, we're distracted by culture, rap, all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the C stand for obviously concentrating on your goals.
Right. Execute on strategies.
So they lied to us. When they said that information is power or knowledge is power, it was a lie. Applied information is power.
Yes, sir.
A dream is nothing but a dream, you know what I'm saying, if you ain't doing nothing with it. Right? So you have to make sure that you are literally executing, because you had the vision of this podcast. Many people got the vision of this podcast. How many people come up to you and say, yo, bro, I wanted to start a podcast, right? Or maybe talked about every day, right?
Every day.
But you did it.
Right.
You got likes, you got followers, you know, you building your momentum. And that's the problem, right? Is I've basically, in my mind, my opinion, I think I've narrowed it down to the reason why certain people are successful, right? I believe there's 3 types of people in this world. One is the person that is happy with their life. They're happy with that bubble. They happy with the Honda Civic. They're happy with their home that they paid for. They're happy with their job. They're happy with their wife, their dog, whatever the case may be. You know, that white picket fence, and they just stay out the way, right? Now, the issue with that person is that they don't know what their potential is because they're not focused on anybody else. But you also have to understand that life is a sport. Business is a sport. It's competitive. And if you don't know that, you know, you can charge $2K for a podcast, $5K for a podcast, you just in your own world, you don't know there's another revenue stream out there, right? So the second type of person is the person that suffers from imposter syndrome, which is that I can't do what Zoe does because I'm not 6'5". I can't do what Zoe does because I'm not, you know, dark skinned like him. I can't do what Brandon does because I'm not a great speaker. I can't articulate. Or I can't do what this person does because I didn't go to college, right? So there are those imposter syndromes that everything is like, you know, they just sit on the sidelines. So the successful person gives a fuck enough to know what's going on, to know, hey, I want to beat that threshold, but also doesn't give a fuck enough to say, you know what, I'm not going to do anything. They're going to be that risk taker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say when it comes down to the execution part. You have to have a blend of both of those types of people, that hybrid.
Right. Optimizes systems.
So optimizer systems, man, when it comes down to really making money, you have to make sure that you are delegating. Like, you have to have a team. Like, there's no way that you can really scale. Like, you can go somewhere short term by yourself, but long term, if you want to scale, you have to be able to optimize systems and people. For example, do you think that Elon Musk is the one making the cars?
Nope.
You think Jeff Bezos is in the warehouse?
Nope.
Absolutely not, right? So I tell people all the time is you have to make sure that you're optimizing systems, technology, and people. And that's why I would ask you this shit, right, Lo? Like, for example, would you rather be the smartest person in the room or the most influential person in the room?
The most influential.
Why?
I think my influence is going to bring everything else to me.
So and you 100% right. I agree with you. I'd rather be the most influential person. The reason why is because of that. I know for a fact that if I am the most influential person here, I can get the smartest person to go ahead and build me a product so I can sell to the actual room.
Right.
But the smartest person cannot influence people to buy his product.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Facts.
And that's the craziest thing about it. Like, I run into people, I have friends obviously that, still deal in the streets or do their thing. And we come from that. Obviously, it's everywhere. I don't think it's ever gonna stop. And I say, yo, listen, y'all actually end up doing more than what it actually takes to be a successful person. Because y'all have to do marketing online, right? You have to buy low, sell high. Right, you gotta, take loans or fronts. Right, we do the same thing except we doing it with real estate.
Right,
and y'all do it with what y'all do it with.
Right,
even if you flipping shoes, what's the difference? You going on these apps, you buying it low, you selling it high, you marketing it. Right, you looking at what it's worth. You're looking at comparables. Yo, what is this comp worth for this? This may get discontinued, so this shoe may be worth a little bit more.
Right.
But you have to be able to play with a velocity, and not only that, leverage systems so that you can do it. You got to be able to duplicate yourself, right? How can you be Zoe, right, and do what Zoe does 3 times? The only way to do that is systems and people. Right. So that's why I love Phil Jackson, because Phil Jackson is really the greatest of all time. Why? Because he ended up putting the team together. Right. He knew that he didn't have to be the best shooter or scorer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Michael Jordan for that. He didn't have to be the best rebounder. He ended up getting Dennis Rodman. Assist and all of that. He got Scottie Pippen. 3-point shooter. He had Steve Kerr. So I don't want to be the best. I just want to have the best team, and we all win together.
That's great. So in honor of Father's Day coming up. So you put an announcement with a little trumpet signal. Emoji. Just because you pay child support doesn't mean you take care of your kids. This will give you bragging rights, fellas, with the little emoji with the guy with the eye, right? Time, values, ethics, literacy, morals.
Yeah, man. So that really stemmed from, that was my father, man. Like, he paid child support, and really, really smart dude. Why? Because he did real estate, and he was actually a big influence. Even though I didn't grow up with him, I don't really talk to him. He was an influence on the reason why I wanted to get into real estate. I wanted to show him that I'd be a better man than him at what he does. And, that's what he prided himself on when we did talk, is like, yo, I paid my child support. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, kudos. And what I started to understand is that there's nothing more important than time. Right? Like, real men out there, you have to understand that I get it, right? That a woman gets unconditional love. And as men, we are looked at, we have to perform, right? We have to perform from a monetary perspective, from a physical perspective, and even from a spiritual perspective, right? We're that rock. But at the end of the day, we still have to put in that time with our kids, right? Paying your child support is not equivalent to really building a legacy. Right? And I think that, going back to what we was talking about earlier, a lot of the times, you were just saying you got one of your mans going in, one of your mans coming out of the system. And I think that comes from broken homes. And majority of the time is broken, kids that don't have fathers. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for you to imitate somebody that you've never had in your life. And it's hard for your mother to be your father. You see what I'm saying? So when you understand ethics and you understand value, that's what holds it down, right? So to answer your question, I feel like child support, just only paying your child support is that's just a cop. You're a copper. I can't respect that, right? And I get it. Mothers obviously need to do a better job of allowing men to get in their kids' lives, right? And I think that the system is also messed up when it comes down to child support. Why? Because like, child support is not put on a debit card. It should be on a debit card to where the father can also see what they're spending, right? And I don't know too much about child support, but I always hear people like, yo, man, baby mom would be always spending it on this or that. I don't even really know what she's spending it on. And sometimes they pay the child support and then they got to take care of their kids too, right? So I think, man, that the best thing you could do is try to be there, because at the end of the day, I think that children is an investment. I think children are an investment, man. Like, my goal in life was to help my family, but more so my mom, my grandmother, right? Because they loved me before I could love myself. They loved me before I even knew what love was. And I think that when you really take care of somebody with good core values, with ethics, and you pour everything into that person, life repays it back, right? And you doing it not wanting a repayment, but you're doing it out of love. But think about all the kids that really deserve, like, think about all the kids that really got a lot of love and attention from they want to take care of their people afterwards, you know?
Right.
So that's what I want to do too. And I think that, you know, that's what it is when it comes down to that piece. That's why I said that.
Right. So I want to skip a tweet and go back to it, but this one goes right hand in hand with what you just said, right?
Yeah.
So if you're an only child, you're the only one that can retire your mom early. Don't forget that and keep building.
Yeah. So, man, listen, like I said, man, a lot of past trauma. Like I said, I was born in Queens, raised a little bit there. You know, I mostly I was raised in, I went to Pennsylvania. Then afterwards, I ended up in Orlando. And like I said, man, these single mothers out here, like, shout out to them.
Right.
They just be doing things that is unbelievable. To be honest, it's just unbelievable. First from just giving birth, but then after that, just trying to play the role of a dad and a mom, juggling 2 jobs and cooking and cleaning, and then also trying to discipline you and tutor you. Right. That was my mom, right? And in all reality, I'm her only child. So I'm the only one that can retire her early.
Right.
Because, you know, my mom didn't graduate even from middle school.
Right.
And, you know, she's been working her way. You know, of course, she got a decent job that pays her well, but she's going to have to work till 65.
Right.
Unless I do something about it as a man. And that's what I think is gangster.
Right.
I think what's gangster is understanding that I can bring back financial literacy. I could teach my family credit. I could say, you know what? Instead of for Thanksgiving, doing all of this at the end, right? Let's go ahead and have a potluck, but not of food, a potluck of let's go ahead and put $200 in a pot and we're going to pay for somebody to get their credit repaired. Or we're going to go ahead and put $200 or $300 in a pot to go ahead and help somebody get an FHA loan so they can buy a property.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But these are just the things that we aren't taught growing up. And we just not taught that because they want to keep us in our bubble.
Right.
I was at Saks Fifth, man, and all I seen was minorities there.
Right.
I didn't see no white people there.
Right.
I'm just being honest. And then I'm seeing kids, man, I'm 30 years old. I'm a grown man.
Right.
22, 23, they walking up in there and you could tell they copping the Louis V belt, $400 or $500.
Right.
Not knowing that you can just go buy a course. You could attend a free seminar. You could buy a book. You could buy Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You can read, you know, Outwitting the Devil, understand how society plays you since you was a little boy, since you was a little girl.
Right.
But instead, you want to go ahead and make them people rich.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I say, like, all the time. Like, I'm wearing this Galleria Department shirt. I'm wearing this because of them. If I wasn't wearing this and I wanted to wear a regular T-shirt, nobody would stop scrolling.
Right.
But because I'm wearing this was going to get people to stop scrolling.
Right.
Right. I've been going around, everybody's telling me, yo, listen, I love the diamonds in your braids. I'm wearing this so that you can ask me what I do.
Right.
This is all. If not, I wouldn't wear it. I wouldn't, because this is how I have to be able to market, because financial literacy, real estate, knowing that when you're born, you're not recommended to have health or life insurance, but when you leave the dealership, you have to have a license plate and car insurance.
Right.
So they don't give a fuck if you die, it doesn't matter. If you die without life insurance, it don't matter. You got to figure it out.
Right. It's all a business.
It's all a business.
Build with a busy man or babysit a broke one.
So listen, right? I've been in a relationship, gonna be 14 years, man. And you have to understand that when it comes down to entrepreneurship,
right,
you can't have it all. Like, ladies, you can't have a tall, dark, handsome dude that has a six-pack, that has a lot of money,
right,
that also is going to be faithful and loyal. Like, everything has its cons and its pros. Right. And it's up to you to understand which ones fit with you and your needs and your relationship. So with that tweet, what I was basically saying is, you know, you build with a busy one, right? Or you babysit a broke man. What I was saying is that you have to understand that a man that's really on his shit, every single day he's putting that Lego block, building that legacy for you in that castle. Brick. Exactly. And I'm this is how I feel about ladies. Ladies is the foundation to the actual castle. We just there to make sure that we keep building it. Right. Because for me at home, my lady is my foundation. When I'm going through something, I'm asking her. When I'm, you know, depressed about something, I'm coming to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I need you. I need that support. But I'm the driver. You see what I'm saying? I'm that one that's always keeping things, pushing the needle forward. So for me, she also has to understand. Right now, I'm here on the podcast. It's Memorial Day weekend. Right. I would love to be with her. But unfortunately, we gotta go ahead and make sure. You want that Birkin bag? You want them, you know, you want the Van Cleef, right. You want the stilettos, you want your nails done. You know, you gotta understand that a man's gonna be busy. But I'm talking about the real busy. I'm not talking about being at the strip club, hanging out with people that got, you know, no credit. I'm talking about pushing the culture.
Hanging out with people with no credit.
Yeah, right? Because some people say, I don't owe nobody nothing, I'm good. But that's not what the medical center say. Right. Medical center been trying to get you for 2 years, talking about you owe 5 bands.
Right.
So why is it always that street cred is more important than business credit or personal credit?
That's perfect. And this is exactly the time that I've been on, bro. This is what I've been pushing about the mindset and the mentality and what we glorify. You know, I always tell this story. Fuckboy Zoe was the man, bro. The hood loved him.
Facts.
There was girls, bottles, it was everything.
Facts.
You know, and they was rooting off of me. Then I started this podcast and where did they go? What happened?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Zoe, here's the thing. People will help you spend money, but they won't help you make money.
Right.
Go ahead and cash a check right now. Post it on social media. They'll come back.
Right.
Yo, it's up. It's lit.
Right.
Da-da-da. Do-boo-boo. Right? But when you grinding, when you trying to get there, where was you at when we were shooting in the gym?
Right. Now with Blue Notes.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Huh? That's my slogan. What are you going to tell me now? Every episode, bro.
And that's 100%, man. That's 100%. And I was just literally talking about this with my uncles. Like, sometimes, you know, you can't be around everybody. You have to be exclusive.
That's a fact.
Like, you have to be exclusive. The reason why Travis Scott's, when they drop, it's exclusive. The reason why, you know, the Patek Philippe, the Tiffany is worth $2 million is exclusive. So ladies, gentlemen, you have to understand that you can't, you know, raw dog every girl. You can't be out there giving the sauce to every girl. You can't be at every club. You can't be at every brunch. You have to be exclusive. When you're exclusive, your stock is higher.
Yep.
And that goes down with even friends and family.
Right.
And you have to be able to protect your energy. See, a lot of the times our city that we live in is sometimes can be the biggest detriment to our success.
That's a fact.
A lot of us, but I don't want to leave New York. Why? Because, you know what I'm saying, it's my home, it's where my people live. But New York City's killing you.
Right.
Miami's killing you. Vegas is killing you. Wherever you are, you don't even know, but those toxic relationships, that past trauma, you haven't recovered from. And it's okay. It's okay. We all need time to heal. Right?
Right.
And it's okay to show those scars. But you have to understand that the average person lives to 74-ish. After the age of 40, you got more past than future.
Right.
So what you gonna do? The clock is ticking.
Yes, sir. Some of us need to sacrifice this Christmas to make the next one great. I like that one.
It's a fact.
That's a fact, man. I like that one a lot, bro.
Listen, let me ask you this though, right?
Go for it.
Why can't it be a holiday every day?
Right.
Right, listen. A couple weeks ago, it was Cinco de Mayo.
Right.
I'm chilling. We going tacos. We bagging shorties. I'm hanging out with the fellas.
Right.
Right? That book, that shit you say you're going to do, that little business that you was going to start, you know, because every time you start a business, like, oh, how's your little business going?
Right.
Right? You put that off.
Right.
Couple weeks go by, you know what I'm saying? Work's been hard on you. So you feel like you deserve to watch Power. You feel like you deserve to watch the NBA playoffs. You feel like you deserve to kick your feet up.
Right.
Right? Then what happened? Mother's Day come. Right? So that weekend, you doing everything for your mom. Now it's Memorial Day weekend, you still lit outside. It's been a whole 2 months and you still ain't start your whole business. But guess what?
Right.
The years go by and then you're like, damn, it's July 4th again. Right. Yo, damn, it's Thanksgiving. Why every day you can't feast? Right. Why every day you can't have, you know what I'm saying, lobster?
Right.
Why is it only on one specific day?
Right.
You got kids?
I have a son.
You have a son. Why can't every day be Christmas for your kid?
Right.
But whenever you want it to be. See, I wanted to make sure, man, that when I had kids, that I tell them no because I wanted to, not because of money.
Right.
And I think that everybody should have a chance to be successful. And I think that we do. America is the greatest country to do so.
Right.
The thing is that we have a lot of entitlement here, bro. You know, we go back to third world countries, man, there's people dying just to come to America. I come to New York, there's people hustling MTA cars. There's people out there, you know, selling knockoffs. There's people out there holding the door. I went to McDonald's, somebody holding the door, and he just got a cup.
Right. Everybody trying to get it.
Everybody trying to get it. But the thing is you doing busy work or you doing productive work? Right? Some people get upset about the fact they get 50-cent raises. You got to understand that these people put $1 on your top.
Right.
That job is worth $22 an hour.
Right.
And it's not their fault because you're working a job that is $22 an hour. That's what society has said that your job is.
Right.
And no matter whether you do good or bad, mediocre, you stay there till 12 in the morning, till close, they only going to pay you that. Right. And then after a year, they going to pay you $22.50.
Right.
Right? I ask people all the time, yo, the average doctor, I think, makes somewhere around $300K. Somewhere around it, right?
Right.
Me as a real estate investor and entrepreneur, I make more than that, right? Who's more important, me or the doctor in life? The doctor. The doctor's saving lives. But what they don't understand is that the doctor has what's called a cap. I have an unlimited earning capacity.
Right.
So if the doctor owns his own practice, the doctor gets paid by who? Insurance. Right. And they only pay X amount per visit.
Right.
Now, if you work for the hospital as a doctor, you have a salary or hourly. The reason with me being a real estate investor is that I could close 2 deals. One deal could be 10 grand. The other one could be 100 grand.
Right.
So you have to find a skill set that society feels and deems to be really necessary, bro. See what I'm saying? There's some podcasts that get Gilly and them. They just what?
Right. Like 20M, something like that. A little more than that.
Are they more important than doctors?
No, sir.
Right? So you have to understand that you have to get into a skill set that can pay you a lot, right? People talk about, yo, I want to be the first person in, the last person out. I don't.
Yeah.
I want to be the last person in and the first one out. But what they don't understand is that it took me 5 years because I was the first person in and the last one out for 5 years.
Right.
But my goal is to be the first person in, the last one out.
Right.
Right? Unless you learn how to make money while you're sleeping, you always gonna work for money. Right. I hate money. I feel like money is the root of all evil.
It is.
All evil.
Right.
But you have to understand that society, you need money.
Right. Define the hood mentality.
Man, the hood mentality is, I think that the hood mentality is good and bad.
Right.
Right? Because I hear people always saying, man, you know what? You a hustler, man. I love that about you. The issue about a hustler is that you always going to be hustling.
Right.
You never going to stop hustling.
Right.
And the goal is to make money without having to do anything.
Right.
It's called passive income.
Right.
Mailbox money. But you look at your bank account, there's money there.
Right.
So I think that the hood mentality, man, is really having a scarcity mindset, right? It's understanding that you're not trying to get out of the box. You only looking at what is going on inside of your neighborhood.
Right.
And I feel like the hood mentality is what's made our community, but I think that also it can change our community in a better way if we can just think outside the box. If we can understand that we're stuck in this matrix. Mm-hmm. Right? You go to the hood, what you see? Pawn shops. Right. You see strip clubs. You see bodegas. You don't see Charles Schwab. Nope. You don't see Fidelity.
Nope.
You don't see designer. You don't see that type of stuff. But then when you go to designer, you see us.
Right.
And then a lot of the times we make it and then we want to go back to the hood.
Right.
To get gratification from people that we was trying to get away from.
Right.
Right? So a lot of the times you got to understand, man, that the hood mentality, you got to get out of that.
Right.
I talk about poor mindset. It's passing over opportunities repeatedly.
Right.
And a lot of the times, man, You get doors that open up for you, but your mentality closes them because you blocking them blessings, right? So I think that there's so many people, man, that come from neighborhoods that we come from that have so much potential, but because of what they see, their perception on life, you know, they haven't been opened to the rest of the world, and they don't know what their really true potential can be.
Right. How was your family's financial status growing up?
Oh, man, I mean, bro, like I just said, you know, we come from apartment 1A, you know, 3-4 people, 2 bedroom, 1 bedroom. Like I said, I share a bedroom with my grandma to the age of 16. You know what I'm saying? I've been with my girl 14 years. So when she was coming over, I was kicking my grandma out the room.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My mom was paycheck to paycheck. My grandma worked the hotel industry here in Queens, you know, for like 20 years, you know, working to get a visa, green card, all of that stuff. So, yeah, financial status was nothing. I was taught that you use credit. It's like playing with fire.
Right.
You know? Home ownership, no, you know, it was nobody. Like, growing up, I didn't know anybody really like that had home ownership, you know? And that's just how it was. You know, it's the craziest thing, because if you're paycheck to paycheck and you rent, you're one paycheck away from being homeless.
Right.
And that's how crazy it is right now, that you wouldn't even think that way. Right. But then you spend the weekend fucking around with your friends, and you thinking that those $18 Casamigos shots ain't nothing.
Right. So it comes back to bite you.
100%.
Right. So when do you feel you became conscious or more conscious?
Man, I really sat down, and I remember walking through the door one day, and actually it's cap. I was at this place called Publix, right? I don't know if you know Publix.
It's Publilix, right?
Yeah, it's a supermarket.
Yeah.
So I was at Publix, man. I'm with my grandma. I think I'm like 22 years old, 23 years old, right? I'm working 2 jobs. I'm going to college. Right. I was a barber. I was working at a hospital, and then I was going to college, right? And I remember that my grandma was paying for the groceries that day, and the card declined, and the dude behind us paid it.
Wow.
My eyes getting watery, but the craziest thing about it, I was like, I felt so less of a man, bro. Mm-hmm. I was like, I never want to have that feeling of somebody having to pay for my next meal.
Right. And
the worst thing about it is, like, it was in front of my grandmother.
Right.
You know, like, I got hair on my face, you know. It just felt like horrible. And then at that point in time, it was like, you know what? I got to really start to find a way to really make some money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I just, it was like, I looked at my top five people I talked to, you know, my favorites, you know, and I looked around. It's like, if it ain't you, then who?
Right.
Like, who is going to bring the real bag back? Who's really going to, you know, have the baby showers? Like, who's really going to look up to somebody, like, you know, in a positive way?
Right.
And that's when I was like, you know what? I gotta jump into something. So I just went on YouTube, started looking at, you know, what's the best ways to make money. Like I said, my father when I used to talk to him here and there, he used to always say, oh yeah, you should try real estate. And I just, you know, I started looking at everybody. Your favorite rapper, your favorite guru, your favorite athlete, they all invest in real estate. All roads lead to real estate.
Right.
You can drop me anywhere in this world. That road somehow, some way is going to go to a shack, a barn, a single family property, a multifamily property. And at that point in time, I said, you know what? I got to make it. People ask me, yo, Brandon, like, how did you really start cold calling? I can't cold call. Or how did you really start? Like, how did you get so focused? I was tired of being broke.
Right.
Man, I'm tired of being, no, you're not. You're not. You're not. Because I told you what to do. I'll see you 3 months later. Your outfit look good. You spent about $800 on that outfit. Mm-hmm. But you still working your job, right? And you want and there's nothing wrong in working a 9 to 5.
Nothing.
There's nothing wrong with having a boss. The issue is that if you're not happy with it, then you got to take yourself out of that position.
Right.
So I was just tired.
Right. So how important is investing in yourself?
Man, really, really important. You have to understand that. Do you know what's one product you can never go broke from?
One product?
One product you can never go broke from.
Investing in yourself?
Yeah. Intellectual property.
Intellectual property, right.
The 6 inches between your ears, it can never go away.
Right.
God forbid you get into a car accident and you can't remember your memory. That's the only way.
Right.
But intellectual property is what allows you to literally be successful. Investing in yourself is the number one thing. People tell me, yo, B, man, you a TikTok dude. You an Instagram dude. I get paid to be on Instagram.
Right.
I get paid to be on TikTok. And even while I'm not getting paid or monetizing off TikTok, Instagram, or social media, I am learning.
Right.
If you look at my algorithm on TikTok, I'm looking at Rockefeller Trust. I'm looking at how to have a trust that owns a Wyoming LLC that owns the rest of my LLC, so I'm not able to go ahead and get sued. Or even if I don't have a prenup, this person can't take nothing from me.
Right.
I'm looking at how to use life insurance to make money now while I'm alive, not while I'm dead.
Right.
I'm looking at how to credit card stack so I could fund my real estate business or fund other ventures.
Right.
Same thing with Instagram. I'm not looking at strippers anymore. I'm not looking at other dudes and rappers and all this. So I'm looking at literally financial literacy so that I can be able to bring this back to the people.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So you have to understand that investing in yourself is very, very important. I consistently do that. I probably spend 6 figures investing in myself. And I host a mastermind myself. It's $30,000 a year.
Right.
And people pay it because you have to understand that if I could just teach you one thing, or one thing resonates with you, that you're able to get that one time back, you already made your money back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
So you have to always consistently be investing in yourself. They say if you ain't growing, you dying.
Right. Personal development or financial development?
Personal development, man, because you got to understand, right, that money's just a tool.
Right.
You have to, as a person, have good ethics. You have to, be intentional. You have to have values.
Right.
I hate when I meet people and they're like, yeah, I don't care about what nobody think about me. I don't want to do no type of business with you. If you don't care about what people think about you, that means that you are probably selfish. That means that you are willing to do whatever it takes to get what you want.
Right.
And you don't care about what anybody think about you.
Right.
You don't care that you a scammer and you hurting people.
Right.
You don't care that you probably out there, selling some type of substance and you killing people.
Right.
I understand the mindset and I understand that. I come from that, right?
Right.
But you also have to understand that you have to have some sense of value when it comes down to personal development.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have some heart.
Right.
At the end of the day, we human beings. So I would say working on yourself, the money will come.
Right.
Right? Because we have selective discipline. A lot of us, you know what I'm saying, we are disciplined in certain things, but other things we ain't disciplined.
Right.
Some of y'all wake up and smoke a blunt immediately.
Right.
Right? You know exactly where to go ahead, cop some weed,
right.
Know exactly where to go ahead and do this and that. Right? But when it comes down to opening a book, or a seminar or getting some money,
right.
You broke.
Right.
Right? My gym heads. Some of y'all are great. Drink 2-3 gallons a day or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Go to the gym, eat good. But when we talk about finances, you ain't got none, right? So I think in life, you have to really understand discipline, right? You have to be able to understand that something that comes easy for you but harder for others. This year, I haven't drank not one anything, not sip of liquor, no wine, no nothing.
Right.
Not that I'm a big drinker, so it's easy for me.
Right.
But 2 is that I like to make sure that I'm disciplining myself on the things that society seems to be hard on.
Right.
People, unfortunately, it's hard for them to not, drink to have fun.
Right.
It's hard for them to cope without the weed. It's hard for them to cope without the food.
Right.
Right? If you really tap in with somebody that's making 6, 7, 8 figures, bro, the things that they do is crazy.
Right.
Right? Like insane. Like meditation, gym, sauna. A lot of us, we wear the same thing over.
Right.
Because if you actually end up tapping in, you have about like 30,000 thoughts that go through your head. And the more decisions that you have to make, the less time you are making money.
Right.
So if I got Galleria, Chrome Hearts, all this shit, and I just need to get to work or I need to do my thing, I'm literally spending so much time. Just think about women.
Right.
Right? And even as men, not even just women, right? We take our time. Yo, this is a fire fit. If you break that down on a daily, weekly basis, how much time you really think that added up? And now if you're getting paid $22 an hour, now you add that up and see how much money you don't lost.
Right. I can see that. So we're not into buying bottles no more, are we?
So you have to understand, this game is a game of marketing. I said this before and I'm going to say it again. The marketer always beats the educator when the educator is in marketing. Mm-hmm. This is a game of marketing. Not every time that you go to a club, it's people there that aren't doing well. There's people there that are doing well. And when if you go to the club, you have to make sure, number one, that you're being exclusive. And number two, that if you're going to do it, do the shit right. Right. Because you might be able to tap in with somebody that is really moving, right? They might be a stockbroker. They might be a real estate portfolio owner. They might own a little bit of oil and gas or whatever. You never know who you're gonna meet.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you have to understand that in every situation, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta move in a certain way. So what I would say is, it's popping bottles. My uncle's there. We popped 10 bottles yesterday. Did I drink one? Not a single one.
Right.
Right? But at the end of the day, it's one of those things that somebody could just have a conversation, say, yo, man, damn, you popped all those bottles, you don't drink. What you do?
Right.
And that's what I want people to know.
Right.
Damn, that's a nice watch, man. What you do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Regular people, yo, where'd you get these things in your braids? What you do? Oh, am I sponsored by God Shirt? I love that shirt. Everything is marketing, man. You got to put yourself out there. Right. A lot of the times we either market too well. I be seeing y'all dripped out, but you have no product. So you ain't selling nothing. Right. It's like having a storefront with nothing to buy.
Right.
If you're going to advertise yourself correctly, but have a backbone behind it so that you can actually make money. Right. Find a solution so that you can give it to people, and that's how you start to make money. Build your business. Right. I meet so many people, though, like, it's crazy. I be like, yo, I've known you for 6 months. I didn't know that you had that business.
Right.
How did you even make money?
Right. Right. Now putting yourself out there. So define good business.
Man, good business is doing something, is finding a solution based on past mistakes, right, that work, and helping somebody with good intentions get that same solution.
Right.
That's good business. That's good business practice.
Right.
Not all good business is going to end up being good business.
Right.
You know, you may invest into something and it can go left.
Right.
Right? Like, sometimes people understand, especially on social media, y'all, it's human nature, right? Go invest into the Bitcoin on Robinhood. If it tank, see who you could call to get your money back.
Right.
Nobody. So you got to also understand that in business is a risk. That's why I say you got to be a serial risk taker. Right. But you also have to mitigate that risk. Right? And a lot of times people just don't make a decision because they're scared of fear. Right. What does fear stand for? False evidence appearing to be real. How can we be scared of something that hasn't happened yet?
Right.
You're not scared of going raw on some girl and catching HIV or herpes or gonorrhea, but you scared of starting an LLC.
Right. Right.
100%. You're not scared of going back to the block where you know them boys is out there heavy.
Right.
But you scared to tell people that you about to, you know what, you about to quit the streets and you about to actually go corporate.
Right.
Because you scared about what people gonna think about you. Mm-hmm. That's that median I said. Remember, you gotta give a fuck enough, but not enough at the same time.
Right.
Because if I would have listened to everybody, or not even, I would have not been, where I am today, man.
I feel that 100%. So define bad business.
Bad business is when you were offering a service and you're misleading somebody with bad intention.
Right.
Your intention is to never actually give them that solution. Your intention is to never give them that service or give them that product.
Right.
I think that's bad business.
Right.
Somebody you're taking advantage of them.
Right.
Knowingly.
Any red flags on who not to do business with?
Number one is somebody that don't care about what their image is, somebody that don't care about what their brand is, somebody that don't care about what people think about them. Number two is, I would say, looking at their past history. Like, what I like to do is I like to go on social media if if I'm looking at somebody I want to do business with, I want to see how long they've been doing this for. Because nowadays, your bio is whoever you say to be. Right. I done met people that, push weight, but on their Instagram, it say that they're a real estate dude.
Right.
And I meet with them, I said, yeah, bro, I ain't done real estate ever.
Right.
Right. So I think it's going back and really seeing how long they say that they've been doing what they've been doing.
Right.
Right. Time always tells. And then number 3 is social proof. Of course, Zoe gonna say he the man, he the best podcast, but I need to ask other people, do you have testimonials? Right? Of what you got going on right now? Are you the best product? Are you the best service? Because you have to understand, right, that people buy into the actual brand, but they stay because of the product.
That's a fact.
Me and you just met. If I didn't get a good vibe from you, you didn't get a good vibe from me, we both would have went our separate ways. Right? Before you went to Chick-fil-A, you didn't know how it actually tasted. Somebody told you, yo, the chicken's fire.
Right.
And then when you went,
he
was like, the chicken fire.
Right.
Same thing with business.
Right.
So you have to do your due diligence. And sometimes as people, right, we just expect for somebody, since they have a brand, you just expect for them to do right. Nah, there's people out here scamming. There's people out here misleading people. And there's people out here doing things that they say that they don't do.
Right.
And you have to make sure that you're doing your piece of it too.
Right. I can see that. Don't go broke competing with somebody on social media that looks rich.
Yeah. Go ahead and spend a day with somebody on social media. See how really rich they are.
Right.
Just be honest with you. Everybody rich.
Right.
We all have those friends right now. You know what I'm saying? They got the Hellstar on.
Right.
They got the, Balenciaga pants, the Prada shoes, right? They got that little date just, but they living in that 2-bedroom with their people.
Right. That's facts.
And there is something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that. Because what that means is that what you're looking for is instant gratification. What you're looking for is gratification from people that wouldn't care if you passed away tomorrow.
Right. They'd probably go ask for that hoodie.
Yeah. And the thing is the craziest thing about this is that I feel like that we need to be more open about therapy in the minority community.
Amen. Therapy is gangster.
When I literally had a therapist and I was talking to my therapist, I felt like I was crazy. Like the amount of time that I spent on just relieving my thoughts, when I got back into that mode, more money, spiritual. You know what I'm saying? In the gym. Because you got to understand, it's hard for you to talk to somebody that you grew up with. Right. Because there's always a little bit of ego and competition. Mm-hmm. Right? There just always is.
Yes, there is.
And then not only that, when you talking to somebody, venting to somebody that is non-biased, it's actually great.
Right.
Because they can give you an honest opinion.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
My therapist was a white lady. Well, one of my therapists was a white lady. She didn't know nothing about no hood. She don't understand, immigrant mothers. But she was able to give me a logical way on how to go ahead and combat with my inner problems. Right. Brandon, so when you get upset, do you say things that you shouldn't say? Well, this is how you can actually fix those things.
Right.
It's not like, but what did he say first?
Right.
Nah. It's not about that.
Right. I could see that. No, therapy is important, bro. Therapy has saved me. Therapy is why I'm here today, bro. Like, I give people this safe space to say what they got to say. I'm very vulnerable about my own stuff. And it has given me, I've been seeing the guidance counselor since I was in middle school. And that's when I found out who she was.
Yeah.
And what she did. I'm like, oh, you could go speak to somebody?
Yeah.
So I was like, I just made the appointment. I went and wrote my name. She called me and I've been going ever since, bro.
Yeah.
I went in middle school. I went in high school. I went in boarding school. I went in college. When my pops passed, I was already going to see her.
Yeah.
And then when he passed, it was just like, we're going to double up on these sessions.
Yeah.
So all I did was focus on my mental and make sure I was solid. And I went home. I was going to college in Connecticut. I went back home every Sunday. I went to church every Sunday. I would go see her Monday and Wednesday. Sunday I was in church, getting my mind right, being in the house of God.
You have to.
And that's what made everything better. So when I see some of my mans and we drunk and all that, and they crying and shit. I'm like, bro, you gotta talk to somebody, bro. Like,
I have to.
Like,
and it's not even funny. It's like,
not
for real.
Funny,
I care about you.
We all know that person.
Yeah.
That when they drunk, they're emotional and they let it all out.
Yeah.
Whatever. And it's like, bro, that's not okay, bro, because you holding on to a lot.
Yeah.
Feel me? And you're gonna go down this alcohol, bring it all out, and now you going like we was good 2 hours ago.
Man,
and now this Uber ride. Now, bro, like what happened to the whole night?
A lot of us men are suffering in silence.
Yes, sir.
And the craziest thing is that growing up, if you too hyper, oh, you have ADHD. Here's some pills. Growing up, we have to, you know what I'm saying, we have to take the bus ride, 45 minutes. Growing up, we got the free lunch boys, right? They giving us free lunch. And then we come home, we don't say nothing, we don't talk to nobody. Right? We can't, talking to people is not cool.
Right.
But you have to understand that for you to have self-peace, you have to talk to somebody.
Yes, you do.
You have to.
Right.
You have to. And it's okay to be vulnerable at times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Right. Because that also lets other people know that it's okay as well. You got to be a leader, man. That's another thing. In this world, we got to start, you know, glorifying more leaders, man.
Yeah, we do.
More people. And it's small things. You don't got to be rich. Like, you're a leader in your community.
Yes, I am.
Putting something positive out there.
Right.
We got to glorify that.
Right.
Instead of glorifying, you know, things that just don't make no sense sometimes.
That's very true. If you paycheck to paycheck, you shouldn't be getting a haircut or your nails done every paycheck.
Yo, he getting all the tweets. They either might hate me or love me on here.
Listen, it's the way it goes, but it's true, bro.
Yeah.
We have part of changing the narrative, bro. Gotta call a spade a spade.
Yeah. So listen, right? In this world, you have to understand that we don't have a money problem.
Right.
We have a money management problem.
Yes, we do.
You get paid twice a week. All right? Twice a month. You get paid twice a month. Every time you get paid, if you're paycheck to paycheck and you going and getting a haircut or you getting your nails done, you just really probably spent 20% of your paycheck.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Especially if you paycheck, like if you ain't got nothing else, why would you do that?
Right.
Right? And to me, man, I understand it because that's how I was. That's the reason why I wrote that tweet, is because I would get a paycheck. First thing I'm doing, buying me a fit.
Right.
First thing I'm doing, yo, where we at tonight? Right? Oh, yeah, who got, and this the worst thing, man. Yo, who got money on the bottle? Why is everybody, you have to understand that shit's all a scam, bro. Listen, the bottle of Hennessy costs $40 at the store, and every single weekend you want to spend $250 at the actual club to stunt on somebody from the neighborhood right next to you that is going through the same exact shit you going through.
Right.
They live with their aunt. They live with their mom. They don't got their pops in their life.
Right.
Y'all shopping at the same places. Y'all probably went to the same exact elementary school, and y'all both shooting each other up, and y'all at the club literally spending 3x times the money on something you could have really bought at the corner.
Right. Literally. And also, we spent $1,200 a night. You could go to Punta Cana all inclusive for like a week for $1,200.
I'm gonna tell y'all what's gangster. Y'all really want to party? Get out of America.
Right.
Go to Colombia. Go to Punta Cana.
Right.
Go to the Maldives.
Right.
Go to some place like, you know what I'm saying? Like my grandmother, I said, Grandma, where do you want me to take you? Right? Like, where you want to go on vacation? And she was like, I said, anywhere in the world. I want to take you. And she was like, oh, I want to go to Mexico. And I want to see the church, the Guadalupe church, the Virgin Church, the Virgin Mary over there. And I was like, are you sure you don't want to go anywhere else?
Right.
And I said, yeah. 10 years ago, man, when I had no money, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
Right.
I remember working paycheck to paycheck. I accrued like 2 months of PTO. They said, yo, Brandon, you have to take your paid time off. I took my paid time off.
Right.
You know where I went? To the crib.
The crib.
I ain't got no money.
Right.
Where am I going to go?
Right. I can see that. The day you become an entrepreneur is the day you take responsibility for a problem that isn't yours.
That's heavy. It's the truth.
Right.
Because you have to understand, man, entrepreneurship is a crazy game.
Yes, it is.
You have sleepless nights. You have nights that you don't know why your business ain't thriving.
Right.
You got nights that you looking at other people's businesses, you like, I'm doing the same exact thing. Why isn't my shit popping off?
Right.
And I think at that point in time, it's about you having a bigger cause when it comes down to entrepreneurship. It's about you having a bigger cause and understanding that as long as you find to give a solution to the world will pay it back to you.
Yes, it will.
You don't get paid to do this. You put content out there.
Right.
But somehow, some way, you're gonna make some money off of it.
Facts.
Because at the end of the day, you're giving the people a voice of people that can't talk.
Right.
They suffering in silence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what these podcasts about. So yeah, I think that's exactly what I meant by that tweet.
Right. And just wrapping up the buying bottles thing, why I was laughing was because this is years ago, I was on the block, and it was a couple homies, and they were drinking a 6-pack, right? Mm-hmm. So homie said, yo, you trying to go half on a 6-pack. And another dude said, yo, y'all spitting 6-packs over here? Y'all doing bad. Yo, son, I was crying, bro. Because I'm like, damn, you think about it, it is $12. Like, it do sound kind of, 6 on the 12, it sound kind of crazy.
You want me to get worse, bro?
Go ahead.
They gonna hate me for this. Y'all out here paying $1.50, $2 for what is it, the bogeys, hoagies, single cigarettes?
Right.
Y'all out here spending all your money on Elf bars and vape pens.
Right.
Your credit trash. You got no money to go nowhere. Your people messed up. But you out there just demonizing your body.
Right. There it is.
You got to be able to take control, man.
Right.
There's people counting on you to make it. There's the people that hate you and the people that love you that's counting you to make it. And the people that love you not going to tell you that they count you to make it, but they are.
They are.
They are.
Right. Last year, I did a little $40 challenge. So $40 in an envelope every week. That's $160 a month. That's $1,920 a year. There you go. You save $900.
Yeah, that's more than the average American got in their bank account.
Right. So this year I'm doing it digitally, and I got a credit card and a debit card that I don't use. I just contribute to it.
Nice.
And it's $40 every Monday.
There you go. Perfect.
So doing little things like, here's the thing: you're gonna spend the money anyway. So automation has become my friend, my best friend. I automate all of my investments. Every Monday, the Apple stock, Google, all of that, it goes into that.
Yeah.
I also have Fundrise, which is a real estate. I don't know if you know. We'll talk about it. But Fundrise, they allocate your money to different portfolios and single-family homes, multi-family homes. You contribute to it weekly. I'll show you that after. But anyway, $25 is what? Nothing. Like $25 a haircut. You gotta spend that money. So once you discipline yourself to automate your money and let that money come out, what I work for, that money's already accounted for. So anything I do outside of that is what I do with that other money. But that money is for investing and for investing only.
Yeah. No, that's 100%. Like, you have to, and that's the credit game, right? Like, there's this card out there called Built.
Right.
It's a credit card called Built. It's by MasterCard. And with that credit card, if you are renting, you actually get 1 times the point for paying your rent with that credit card.
Wow.
It also waives a transaction fee. So a lot of the times, when you pay with a credit card, there's a transaction fee, right? Associated with your property manager, your landlord, whatever the case may be. Right. So they waive that transaction fee and they give you points.
Right.
So if your rent is $2,000 a month, you getting 24,000 points a year, which is stuff that you can use for dining, for travel, right? To even pay back your actual credit card.
Right.
And like you just said, you're going to spend the money anyways.
You are.
Right? So you have to understand that with credit, I know that the bank will always have more money than me.
Right.
And as long as I show the bank that I am credible and reputable, they will always give me more money. And then with that money, I go ahead and take it to create more money, and then I pay them back. It's very easy. It's just fronting, paying back, and doing it all over. It's just a cycle.
Right.
So I also understand that if they're going to screw me on the APR, I'm going to get mine with the points.
Right.
So I use, Built can be used for your rent, right? You have, for example, you have another card. I like the Amex, right? The Amex has a lot of great sign-on bonuses. If you spend X amount of dollars in the first couple months, you get 100,000 points. You get 80,000 points.
Right.
You have the Platinum card. I'm here today. I'm from Orlando. I'm here in New York for free. because I use the platinum card. I have the platinum card. I go ahead and go to the airport. There's a lounge there. I get free breakfast, free drinks, whatever the case may be. If I go to a hotel that's through the Amex portal, I upgrade for free. I check in at the hotels sometimes 8 a.m., 10 a.m. Right. I get late checkout. I could sometimes check out at 3, 4 o'clock. Right. I get $100 credit just for having that credit card. Right? So you have to understand that if you're gonna spend the money, spend it wisely. Right? And use the credit cards the way that you need to use them to be able to understand that. Like my Rolex, I literally bought it off of credit. I paid half in cash. The rest, I went ahead and used the credit card. Once I went ahead and did that, I got 60,000 points. I did a balance transfer because obviously that credit card was maxed out, so my payment was going to be high. I did a balance transfer over to a 0% APR card, right? So I'm not paying no interest for 12 months. And then I went ahead and put some money into an Apple savings account, which now pays 4.8%. That'll pay me money on my dividends every single month. So I use that free money just to pay my Rolex bill. Off of just the Rolex that I sold before. Leveraging credit. Right? And you could do the same exact thing when it comes down to real estate. Liquidate your cards to go ahead and obviously get your real estate. You know what I'm saying? But you got to make it make sense. You can't get no credit card and buy, designer or pop bottles and go in debt off of something that's not going to make you money. If you got, the math got to math up.
Really quickly, we got a couple left. Why should you never do business when you're desperate?
I don't think that you should do business when you're desperate because of the fact that you're not thinking right. I think that you're in that position of, fight or flight. And when you're desperate, you're just willing to do whatever it takes to get that money. It's like somebody struggling with addiction. Like you need whatever just to get that fix. So I think that you shouldn't do business when you're desperate, but I also think that you shouldn't do business when you're emotional. You got to take the emotional side out of business to make sure that you're making a good, ethical decision, long-term and short-term.
Message to your younger self.
Message to my younger self is, Brandon, you did well. You believed in yourself, but you should have started earlier. You should have not cared about what everybody thought about you. You should have used the internet a little bit more to gain, more knowledge and tap in with your mind. That's really it, man. And everything else, like I said, I'm sponsored by God, so I wouldn't change it. But if I could go back in time, that's what I would say, man. I think that everybody should start sooner, man. And I just love the fact that we have so many entrepreneurs now, so many leaders, so many bosses. There's so many minorities now that are becoming millionaires. It's crazy. And like you could really get rich in the span of like 30, 90 days. I mean, look at people that, the GameStop, thing and the Bitcoin thing, right? And people just doing drop shipping and this and that, man. And they just going crazy, man. Legal and in a positive way. So start early.
Message to the youth.
Message to the youth, man. You guys are powerful. You guys are bright. You guys are beautiful. Don't let nobody tell you what you can and can't not do. And surround yourself around people that you want to be like. And not all money is good money. So when you surround yourself with people you want to be like, if you know that they're not doing something positive, don't surround yourself with those people. You want to surround yourself with somebody that's going to, push you to be a better person. Spiritually, physically, you know what I'm saying, and financially.
Yes, sir. And message to the first-time realtors.
All right, so message to the first-time realtors is understand that is a high-paying job. A realtor is a high-paying job, which means that you get paid based on commission and that your commission is only going to be what you allow it to be. I would go ahead and learn the skill set of, becoming a realtor and learning the ins and outs of real estate and sales. And I would take those funds to invest into real estate or to get into what I do, which is wholesaling. But at the end of the day, you don't want... The reason why I didn't pursue being a realtor, even though I'm still licensed. I don't use my license. But the reason why I'm not a realtor or do realtor things is because of the fact that the decision-making comes down to the homeowner and both the homeowners, the buyer and the seller. If I show you 5 properties and you don't like any of those 5, I don't get paid. if I bring you 5 offers and you don't like none of those offers, even though I say, yo, this is a great offer, I don't get paid.
Right.
So what I do is flipping contracts.
Right.
So I go to the homeowner and I say, hey, I'm interested in buying your property. You know, would you take X amount of dollars? I might get it for $100,000. It needs a lot of work. So it's worth $200,000. I get it for $100,000. I'll sell it to a real estate investor, a real flipper, for $110,000.
Right.
So all I'm doing is just trading paper,
right.
you know? And with that, the reason why I got into that is because I am the decision maker. I negotiate the price with the homeowner, and then I also negotiate the price with the buyer.
Right.
If I don't want to do it, then I don't want to do it. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. But when you with a realtor, it's like the hands, you kind of tied. It's whatever they like.
Right. Right. I like that, man. So how can we find you, man? How can we,
For sure, man. So you can tap in with me.
Your classes.
Yeah.
Classes.
So right now, man, you can literally tap in with me. I am doing a real estate workshop training every Sunday at this moment. Teaching you guys literally how I was able to make over $70,000 just with one sticky note, and how I've been able to do this since 2017, man. Just teaching them how to really get into real estate the easy way without a license. Without having to buy a home or any type of contract or things of that nature. You can tap me at Blue Notes Brandon on social media and on YouTube as well.
Right, man. So, man, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate you. We definitely got to do the part 2.
For sure.
Is the wholesaling, and we got to do it like in a house or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Go to a house.
I got to come through. You got to come through over there.
Facts, man.
You know what I'm saying? You take me somewhere and we do it, man. I really would want to even do it here in New York because I think that a lot of the times, you thinking since the houses are worth so much money, it's like it's hard for you to do. But really, it's just paperwork, man.
Right.
Paperwork makes the paperwork, man.
Right.
So if you understand what you're getting into, that's all it really is. Information changes situations.
Right. That's beautiful, man. So I appreciate you, man.
Of course.
Thank you for your time, bro, for real.
Of course.
And we out. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. I always forget to say that shit. But listen, we tapped in, man. Blue Notes Brandon. We're here, giving game, changing our mindsets and changing our reality. And it's all love. Peace. Peace and love, world. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, support the channel, show your love. You know what I'm saying? We having great conversation week in and week out. You never know who's coming. You never know what we're going to do. But at the end of the day, it's all about peace and love. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment.